Marcie.
And I'm Nini.
And I'm JT.
Welcome back to the M&N's Para-dox and part 2 of This Is My Brother JT. Yeah. Okay, so one thing I wanted to talk to you about, I wanted to ask you actually, was a long time ago, my kids were in elementary. They're all adults now, so that should tell you how long ago it was. You were working as a para, and paras were not getting paid a lot.
Correct.
It was awful, actually, and you had asked me to go to the school board meeting, let them know who I was, and tell them my take on how much the paras were getting paid. What is your thoughts on what it was back then and what it is now?
Well, and I got to be involved in a lot of that, actually, because, again, what's funny is I stayed in education just for coaching. and I, I love coaching, still doing it to this day. And yep, I'm wearing a coaching shirt. I happen to put it on for work today. Yeah. I knew, all the time. And this is why also males are just hard to, get in the, it's just the pay, as a para, you just don't get that much. But, my association in Yakima did a really good job of just really coming in and saying, yep, let's put it to them. And, it was a big, huge campaign. We called it the Living Wage Campaign and did a ton of stuff. We were working with teachers. We were working with, everybody. We were, all the unions in Yakima, we were getting to getting together. But there was a lot of hours, we met. It's like, how can we really let the district know that, we had videos, we had everything, again, how did I live on a para salary when my wife is a stay-at-home mom?
Exactly. Yeah. That was going to be my next question.
Well, she did daycare.
She supplemented.
Yes, that's some. But we were on every assistance we could, And
you got it. Okay.
We were. Yes, we were. It was absolutely, literally impossible not to. It was literally impossible not to. And, my wife and I talk about it all the time. Just remember, you had to go get food stamps and stuff like, and like she had to swallow. I didn't have time to go do it. I was working 4 or 5 jobs. And so she had to swallow her pride and go do it. And he said, yep. But, my kids were also, I knew every minute of the day where my kids were, and they were right by my wife's side. And, sacrifice now. And now we make more money than we ever dreamed of. And it's great, it's like, full circle, whatever, and stuff like that. But, she went to work once our kids were in school and stuff, and so it worked out okay. But the things we had to, I never had a new car up till a couple of years ago.
Small sacrifices.
Yeah,
for your kids, and that's wonderful.
Yeah, and I would do it anyway. But guess what I eat every day for lunch? Peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I love peanut butter and jelly.
An apple and some chips or something crunchy. That's it.
Can't do that.
He's like, I can't do it.
Some people say, right? I can't do that. That's my little small sacrifice that, it's just going to save my family money. I love to eat it every day. That's what I ate for school lunch every day. So, those are the small sacrifices that, that it's not a big deal as a para, you just had to do.
But as pay back then and now, do you think it's gotten better? Or is it about the same?
No, it's definitely for, so my family, we moved up to West Valley and, again, been on a para salary. I'm on top of the scale. There was no way for me to get a raise because I'd, been working 20 some years without negotiating for more money. And we were very comfortable. My wife's a Hobby Lobby manager, managers, but it's still retail. So she makes good money, but, we're not, well off by any means. And we were still living on my para salary. And we were doing fine. I was, I was okay with it. Every day that's like one of the downfalls of me as a person is just like, I should be making more money. But I walked to work every day and never worked a day in my life and enjoyed what I did. And I really loved that. And I wouldn't sacrifice that for anything, as long as the money was paying enough, that's what it was. So it's a little bit better. And we've come long, strides. We're above minimum wage.
Yeah.
And again,
barely now. But yes,
barely.
Minimum wage has caught up a little bit, compared to when we got those raises.
We're Washington State, we have the for sure
highest minimum wage in the nation.
Yes, so that is true. That is true.
Yeah.
But I want to say, first of all, thank you for sharing with us. That is awesome. And we're going to the thing about being a para is it's enriching to your soul, not to your wallet. And the benefits are good, like your retirement and stuff. Benefits. If you stick with it, you'll have a nice little retirement at the end. But in the meanwhile, you're starving. Can you tell your brother the story real quick?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So we saw Wicked. God, this is hilarious.
We saw Wicked. And at the end, we were walking out to where we had parked our car and we had to go through this convention area.
Convention center.
And there was a bunch of Asians walking by and like formally dressed and whatnot. And I was like, oh, what do you guys have going on? I honestly felt like it was like a high school homecoming or something with the dresses that they were wearing.
It was over the top, and they were like,
it was, yeah. So I was like, oh, what are you guys doing? And they're like, oh, we have an Asian American convention. And I was like, oh, have fun. I'm Asian American. Those darn mics again just don't seem to work. But no worries, we found a better one. Back to the story. Once I said, I'm Asian American, they looked at me and were kind of like, haha, they literally thought I was joking. I was like, yes, I am. I'm Taiwanese. It was very evident that they believed I did not belong with them, though. Marcie and I had a really fun time laughing about it on the way home.
I could have been there and had my daughter, who's blonde, looks like my wife, and be like, yep, here's my daughter, who's quarter Asian. Blonde hair.
So it's like, oh, just because you love K-pop doesn't make you it's like, oh,
it was pretty funny.
But that was a funny story. But sitting next to you guys, I can see it. Like, yeah. So anyway,
he definitely has the Asian hair. I used to, but I ended up getting.
I've never heard that before. The Asian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The course.
Yeah,
like
If I, it's a little long right now when I cut it short, and it's just like
Maybe just have a military cut, like a coach cut. Do you go into sports cut and say, "Give me the coach cut"?
No,
they should have that on the board.
It feels more military at times, but that's what looks good on my, and again, less to take care of. I want to, hop out of bed, shower, and be like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
So
that's me with the girls.
Yeah.
I wish I could be, but
we wish.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for coming.
I hope to come back more because again, I have 1,000 stories.
Lots more stories.
I could share all kinds of different things.
And I have a shirt that says, I never worked a day in no.
Sounds good. The only last thing and how many people, I'm sure it's happened to you, has said, you guys need to be teachers. You're already a parent. One thing that just kept me there longer, because I could have taught special ed. That's not what I got my teaching degree in, but the relationships I did, sometimes I reacted and worked with the kids more than the teacher. Mm-hmm. And that's what kept me there as a parent. It's just like, yep, I don't want to be that teacher because it seems like everything else is going on and they're not teaching. And luckily us as parents, we get to, and that's what we were doing and building those relationships and watching those big gains and, watching the kids get it and their light bulbs turn on. And I enjoyed that. That's
one of my favorite
parents are.
Exactly. So. Yes. I am lucky enough to work with a teacher that does have that relationship with the kids. And that's one of the reasons why I pursued my SPED degree as well. So, because I do want that relationship with the kids. It's super, super fun. But I don't want to go out to recess anymore. So
I work in preschool. We don't have recess. But anyway, thank you again for joining us. And we're going to do our little thing where we call it out. So here we go. It's like, thanks for watching. Remember, if you really like us or you have suggestions or topics, write them down in the columns and subscribe and pass it along, please. We're funny people. You want to be part of this crew.
And remember, if we get 1,000
oh dear
on Spotify, make sure you go to Spotify and follow us. 1,000 followers, she is going to tattoo her eyebrows on. So get those mics going.
I'm kicking myself in no way. Well, thanks for joining us. And I'm Marcie.
And I'm Nini.
And I'm JT.
And we'll see you in paradise.